You're watching the news on the hour brought to you from the Anglican Cable Network Nigeria, ACNN. I am Zubechi Frank. You are welcome. The Vice-Chancellor of Abuja University and Bishop Theologian Church of Nigeria, the Right Reverend Professor Dapo Ashaju, has called for the extension of the voters' registration that was also extended from 17th of August to 31st of August 2018. According to the erudite scholar, there is no need for the registration of voters' card to stop on the 31st of August. Bishop Ashaju made this call in Abuja when he was speaking in an interview with ACNN news correspondent Nwanne Ogechukwu. He pleaded with those in authority to elongate the process, adding that the 2019 election is such an important one that no citizen of the country should be defranchised.
I don't think they need to stop this registration. What they need is just a few weeks to the time of the election for their logistic preparations towards the election proper. It should be a continuous exercise. I don't believe that they have captured the majority of the people who ought to vote. There is a part of sensitization which has not been properly consummated. They need to ensure that more people vote. The situation where just a fraction of the percentage of the population will be the ones to determine the destiny of this country by the people they elect is not good enough. There are so many logistic problems. People are still queuing up to register. Some of the equipment don't work. Some of the personnel are not available. I'm not making excuses for them, but I think for us to maximize participation, they should continue the exercise until the very close period to the time of the election. They don't have to stop right now. So many people are still disenfranchised. Myself, I just registered last week after several attempts.
He also called on those who are yet to get their voters' card to do so, advising them to use their voters' card when they have gotten it to vote in the type of leader they want for the country.
They should go ahead and get their voters' card and then struggle after that to ensure that their votes will count. Getting it is one thing. Those who don't get it are committing crime against humanity, because the absence of good is what brings evil to be. When light absconds, then the darkness will prevail. We are complaining that the governments are hopeless at every level, federal, state, and other local government. The beautiful ones are not yet manifesting. We don't even have credible people in the horizon in the next dispensation. So the barest minimum people can do to ensure that they matter in determining the next election, which is very crucial for this country, is to get it. When you get it, the next is to ensure that you go out there and vote. In spite of the odds and inconveniences, go and cast your vote. And the third is to ensure that, contrary to this very mad craze of buying votes, we make sure we are alert to ensure that nobody buys our vote when we get this voters card. We must struggle to ensure that we get credible people. Let's get it right this time. It may not count when
the Bishop Theologian also called on those who are of the view that their votes do not count to get that mentality out of their heads and be involved in the process of voting and monitoring their votes.
It may not count when you allow evil people to perpetrate rigging and to perpetrate buying of votes, but it will count if we insist in monitoring the process from the beginning to the end. We have no alternative. We just have to vote. It must be made to count. It depends on us. If we don't allow these so-called godfathers to manipulate, if we don't allow these people who have ruined this country to continue to dominate, then we will have to actively participate.
Bishop Ashaju further called on Christians to get involved in the electoral process by forming and joining different groups that monitors elections, starting from the ward level.
Let Christians especially go and get involved at the ward level. Let them be electoral monitoring officers. Let them form themselves into NGOs and let them monitor to the last point until when the votes are announced. We can make it count. We can't sit back and say it doesn't count, therefore we just give up. We must devise means of making it count. If the evil people devise means of perpetrating evil, good people must devise means of countering them.
Meanwhile, Zamfara state government has declared Friday, September 1st as work-free day to enable eligible voters to obtain their permanent voter cards, PVCs. The government has also announced reduction in work hours for its workers on Wednesday and Thursday. Deputy Governor Ibrahim Wakala made the announcement while speaking at the stakeholders meeting in Guasha on the deadline for the ongoing continuous voter registration. He explained that the decision was to encourage those that were yet to obtain their PVC to do so before the deadline of September 1st. The Tiv Area Traditional Council in Benue State has banned the practice of holding festives in the house of a bride's parents during traditional marriages. The traditional institution said such activities were alien to their culture and was now abolished. The decision was contained in a communique issued at the end of the General Assembly of the Tiv Nation held at the Tiv Area Traditional Council members' chambers and was chaired by the third Tiv, Professor James Ayetese. The elders added that traditional marriage ceremony where bride price is to be paid shall involve only the elders of the two families concerned, and that the practice of inviting large number of friends and well-wishers to the occasion is henceforth abolished. The council maintained that any Tiv girl to be given out in marriage must attain the age of 18 years and above, as it stressed that the violation of the marriage tradition shall attract boycotts by traditional rulers and elders and the denial of traditional marriage registration, including other traditional sanctions as the community may deem appropriate. The Borno State Commissioner of Health, Dr. Aruna Michelia, has said that acute watery diarrhea has hit Borno State with 1,068 cases in 10 local government areas of the state's northeast Nigeria. Out of the reported cases, 25 patients were hospitalized at the Benishike Hospital and Dala and El Mishkin treatment centers. Michelia announced this while briefing journalists during the sensitization of the public on hygiene and sanitation to prevent waterborne diseases. He attributed diarrhea and other waterborne diseases to open defecation and poor sanitary conditions in Borno internally displaced persons camp, IDPs, and communities, and also noted that the protocols of reporting outbreaks of cholera include taking samples to the laboratory for instant test. He explained that the response team had to confirm that it is cholera before reporting it to Nigerian Center for Disease Control, NCDC. As reactions have continued to trend on the voiced record of Leah Sharibu from the den of her captors begging for the president to come to her aid and rescue her. The voice recording, which has gone viral with the parents of Leah Sharibu, confirming that the recorded voice, which was done in Hausa language, is that of their daughter. Reacting to this desperate call for help is the Vice-Chancellor of Ajayi Crowther University and Bishop Theologian of the Church of Nigeria Anglican Communion, the Right Reverend Dabo Ashaju, in an interview in Abuja, condemning the act that the child is still in captivity. He said the church, which is supposed to fight for the release of the girl, has suddenly relented in their fight for her freedom. He called on church leaders to awake to their responsibilities and be good representatives of the church in Nigeria.
I want to say that the body of Christ have disappointed me because I believe that we have not done enough. We have a lady who is becoming a heroine because of her faith. It was in the 1st century AD that we had that kind of courage, people ready to lay down their lives for the gospel. In the midst of people compromising, this girl was able to stand up. We have millions and millions of Christians, and we are going to bled, and we are carrying on church every Sunday. We are doing our activities and go along with our materialistic tendencies, and that girl is there. If one member of the body of Christ is incarcerated, the whole body of Christ in Nigeria is in prison. And until our religious leaders will stand up to put pressure on this government, they have lessened the pressure on the Buhari government. We don't trust this government because they are also implicated in this Islamization policy. All we need to do is to ensure that we put pressure. If I were to have a voice, I would say all the Christians should go on strike. All churches should shut down. All Christians in politics, all Christians who are working in the public sector, in the private sector, we should declare a period where everybody will down to let them know that the Christians matter. If you touch one person, every other person must be able to speak up. But the religious leaders are keeping quiet. And that's why they are slaughtering people everywhere. They are keeping quiet. They are not doing what they ought to do. Making a simple statement once in a while is not the issue. There must be coordinated action by the CAN, by the PFM, by everybody that matter to ensure that that girl is the conscience of the body of Christ. And if we allow her to be abandoned, then we will have to account for that sheep before the Lord Jesus.
We shall now go on a short commercial break. News on the hour continues in a moment. Please stay with us.
We all know the intricacies and influences of a student alma mater. As a budding lawyer in equity, I have always desired a place where I have the opportunity to harness my potentials. Truth be told, this school has not let me down in that respect. These were the reasons why my parents and I had to make the right choice on the university I would study law.
My name is Ogumodedia Falashade Victoria, and I am a student of Ajayi Crowther University in the Department of Accounting 200 level.
I am David Adeyemi, a 400 level student from the Department of Biological Sciences and Nigerian Heritage Icon Ambassador of Youth for the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
My name is Kevin Onyekachi Okagu, a 300 level student of the Department of History and International Studies.
Ajayi Crowther University was definitely the right choice. With our standard Modupe and Folorenshaw Alakija Faculty of Law, which is equipped with a law library, an effective e-library, and conducive lecture rooms, and other things needed for you to have an edge in the labor market.
Ajayi Crowther is a fountain of greatness and a center of excellence.
Ajayi Crowther University offers payment of school fees in 3 installments, which makes it comfortable for a student to pay school fees. Ajayi Crowther University is known for raising godly intellectuals and promoting discipline. As a student, my favorite part is the full attention given to me by my able lecturers.
So I implore you to come to Ajayi Crowther University. Pick the right choice.
Select Ajayi Crowther University as the university of your choice to understand the pathway to a better future.
I urge you to make the right choice by choosing Ajayi Crowther.
Ayomide Daramola is my name, a 400 level law student, Faculty of Law, Ajayi Crowther University.
You're welcome back, and thanks for staying tuned for more on our top stories. Please visit our website at acnntv.com or youtube.com/ACNNTV to be up to date with our news and other programs. Download the ACNN app for Android from Google Play Store. And now to foreign news. About 100 evangelical leaders were hosted by the United States President Donald Trump to dinner at the White House for what was a prayer-filled event and have been compared to a church camp meeting and a campaign rally. The event was held specifically in the honor of evangelical leadership and was attended by dozens of evangelical pastors, evangelists and activists who have been involved in formally advising the administration, including well-known figures like Franklin Graham and others. In the meeting, Donald Trump affirmed that America is a faith-believing country and that the days of undermining the faith is over.
We're here this evening to celebrate America's heritage of faith, family, and freedom. As you know, in recent years, the government tried to undermine religious freedom. But the attacks on communities of faith are over. We've ended it. We've ended it. Unlike some before us, we are protecting your religious liberty. We've taken action to defend the religious conscience of doctors, nurses, teachers, students, preachers, faith groups, and religious employers.
The dinner was also attended by Vice President Mike Pence, Secretary of Homeland Security Ben Carson, Secretary to the Department of Health and Human Services Alex Arza, and Ambassador at Large for International Religious Freedom Sam Brownback. The event was officially hosted by First Lady Melania Trump. The Anglican Church of the Indian Ocean has designated September as a month of prayers of intercession dedicated to the national unity of Madagascar, Mauritius and Seychelles, which are the 3 countries that constitute the province of Indian Ocean. The decision was taken by the members of the Standing Committee who met at Antananarivo in Madagascar under the presidency of the church primate Bishop James Yin-Shong. The decision to awaken more consciousness of the people of the Indian Ocean island, which is constantly agitated by winds of insecurity, instability, the degradation of morals, and the political, economic, environmental, social, and family corruption. Moving on to sports, Super Eagles coach Kenneth Raw has confirmed that retired goalkeeper Carl Ikeme is ready to officially commence his role as a member of the Super Eagles technical crew. Raw says Ikeme will not resume not until after Nigeria's African Cup of Nations away match against Seychelles in Victoria in September. The German tactician confirmed that Ikeme is expected to arrive Lagos on October 4th for Eagles' third match in the African Cup of Nations qualifiers against Libya on October 10th, which he would be one of the Nigerian team goalkeeper trainees. President Donald Trump has congratulated football's governing body FIFA for awarding the 2026 World Cup to North America. He made the statement when he welcomed FIFA boss Gianni Infantino to the White House, where he also jokingly waved a red card at journalists. At the meeting, Trump revealed that his 12-year-old son Baron was a keen football fan while describing the World Cup as the biggest sporting event in the world. He, however, noted that he would be out of office by the time the 48th theme tournament arrived in North America. Meanwhile, Infantino said FIFA was confident of helping produce a fantastic tournament in 2026. He also presented Trump with 2 soccer jerseys. So that's it on this edition of the News on the Hour. We want to thank you for watching. I am Zubechi Frank.